Hey, how you doing? Here we are on the Bikers Lifestyle Podcast, Florida edition. Dirty, as we've talked about in the past, has had some problems with his vocal cords, so he's not able to get on. That's why we're doing sporadic shows lately. Well, we're up on a couple of fuck ups too. So, but I'm gonna get Dutch involved here a little more. Sitting here with my friend Dutch Van Alstin.
You pronounce that name correctly. I'll be damned.
Most
people screw it up.
Well, we're of that age when they still taught us in school. Uh, you're just I think a couple years younger than me, so we're right at that. We're not real baby boomers, but we're also not we're not millennials either.
I'm a baby boomer by 2 months. October 64, and then I think they started calling them Gen X in January 65.
Yeah, but I don't think about us as baby boomers like
No, I
like the 1940s,
Yeah,
late 40s
exactly.
and 50s.
We're the way tail end of it.
My parents were boomers.
Yeah, I guess mine would be too.
Or pre-boomers, but I don't know. Boomers, you hear a lot lately. We're a dirty word on the internet.
Oh, geez,
right now.
I hear it all the time. Whenever you're winning an argument, they always say, "Okay, boomer," and then they leave.
Okay, boomer. That seems to be the big one right there.
That means I can't dispute anything you said, so I'm just going to call you names and leave.
Yeah, that seems to be the case sometimes, but we don't want to get into these social issues like that right now, but we do want to know some pressing questions.
Okay, let's see.
And recently you told me you didn't think Gilligan's Island was real.
I'm starting to suspect that. I really am. I never quite understood why they couldn't just fix the boat if they can make a radio work and all that kind of
fix it. Well, they had the brunt of it. No. They covered that in an episode. The rest of it got destroyed with another storm that came through.
Why is that?
Yeah.
You know what I always wondered? Why on the radio is it the same broadcaster every time, no matter what time of day, no matter what day of the week? It was always the same broadcast.
Had to have been AM because they always got stellar reception too. Now, of course, they started to get a little jiggy towards the end there. I mean, but I firmly believe the Harlem Globetrotters visited the island.
Oh, I do too. I've always perplexed why they didn't just beat Gilligan to death after a while, after he screwed up how many rescues. Eventually, you just got to cut your losses. They sorry, you've now outlived your usefulness.
I could never understand why they weren't busy nailing Marianne and Ginger.
Oh,
and just
Ginger was always asking for it too.
Yeah, I was a Marianne guy.
I was too, absolutely. But Ginger was always the provocative one, trying to get everybody to come hither, and nobody would hither.
Nobody would hither. Yeah, they had Kurt Russell on that show.
Oh yeah, as a kid, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
The Monkey Boy or Jungle Boy or whatever the hell it was.
Jungle Boy, Monkey Boy, Jungle Boy. Yeah. He was like, I don't know, 12, 13 years old or something. Yeah, Wrong Way Feldman. He was one of my favorites.
The World War I pilot, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, World War II, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
Well, probably World War II. It was in the early 60s. Either way, fuck, man. Motorcycles, people remember Dutch from, well, you should, at least the 7 or 8 of you that watch this, from the Life Behind Bars series. In fact, I think I'm wearing the Ride Hard Saloon hat, which actually has the Life Behind Bars logo on there. And I got to come clean. When I had Dutch on here before, we talked about it, and I talked like I kind of had read your book a little, the one book you gave me.
Right.
I talked right out of my ass. Because
you did very well then.
Because I had made commentary on it, and commentary was only based on the first 5 pages. And if you read page 6, things change drastically.
I hope so.
And so I had made this observation about this being this philosophical thing, and it's insightful because he's doing, correlating his life to in his philosophies. So it's kind of like a twofold story. I couldn't have been more wrong. But I'm coming clean on that. I was full of shit. I actually did read the books. I read all 4 of them. And, I've had a lot of discussions over them. I'm pretty in depth, I think.
I like to think so. Thank you.
Yeah. So, I mean, what caused you to write them? What was the inspiration?
I get asked that all the time, and I never have an answer handy. It's just,
you think you fucking have one by now?
You would. I've been writing since I was 8 or 9 years old. I used to pound out these little short stories on my parents' old Smith Corona. Just always had that mind. I spent a lot of time alone as a kid. I didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up. Get your Kleenex out. This is gonna get sad. And that just kind of carried over through junior high and high school. So I used to make up things, imaginary people and all that kind of stuff. That just came natural to me. I like developing characters. I try to live through them sometimes. Out of all 4 books, there's a piece of me in every one of the protagonists, somewhere in there.
Yeah, and I think you tell your own story there surreptitiously, as
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Sort of as an aside and in your commentary with some of the characters. So what you're telling me is that there's a little bit of each of you and each of your pretty much your main characters.
Absolutely.
Then you are one fucking psychotic madman.
Oh, absolutely.
And thankfully you have the outlet to get that shit out on paper.
The second book, Rebellious Youth, has the character John Ellisman, who is really, yeah, as you can see, he's loud. He's charming in a way. He's kind of sarcastic,
a charming psychotic,
but he's psychotic.
Yeah.
And I actually used to work in a place where they had a psychiatrist on staff, and I got to talking to him about it. He said his name was Dr. Stephen Yale from up in Tampa, Florida. He said, I'd love to read it. He was kind of a nut himself. And over the weekend, I gave it to him on Friday. I come back Monday. I walk in, he looked at me and said, Dutch, you and I need to talk. I'm not kidding. He goes, where did you come up with that? I don't know. He goes, that makes me a little nervous to work around you. I just want you to know that. Well, this is a psychiatrist who works around crazy.
Right. You told me too. I read the first one. I came clean on, how I, had, lied to you, and all that bullshit. But then we talked about it, and I got kind of hooked, so you sent me the next 3. And so I read, before I started the second one, I had talked to you, and you had said, oh, you like the first one. Oh, I get a lot more psychotic in the second one,
Yes, I do.
And I'm reading the book, and I get to the end, and I'm like, fucking hey, man, like this man's crazy. He's got some rage issues that he's working out here through the keyboard.
Absolutely. And it just and the book kind of took off from me, because that really wasn't supposed to be in the direction it went, but it just, the more I wrote, the more of me came out, and the more he got darker and weirder and all that kind of stuff. I'd worked out a lot of things, even in my own mind. It set me back mentally probably a good 3 months after I wrote that. I just stayed in the house and drew the curtains shut and sat there and sipped my bourbon. I gulped my bourbon.
Oh, I used to gulp too. I cringe to think that you would have had a girlfriend like Annabelle.
Oh my. Well, not quite that nutty, but I will tell you that looking back, I had a girlfriend one time who set my kitchen on fire, and the state police came, and you kind of know the relationship's over when the state troopers tackle your old lady in the front lawn. I mean, the only thing was missing was Jerry Springer out there narrating it. I mean, so yeah, she was a little crazy.
And that was a Tuesday. That was a Tuesday.
That was a Tuesday, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, there's stories, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm a patched member in a club. You were in the patched world. And obviously, you're taking poetic license with a lot of the activity, the things, because for the most part, I mean, you know as well as I do that it can get pretty boring sometimes in a motorcycle club. You're just sort of waiting for shit to happen. But when you're a writer, you can sort of make it happen.
Yeah.
Because if they were to write about like the real shit, like the stuff that we can talk about, that's not illegal, allegedly.
In somebody's eyes, it's illegal.
It would be boring as fuck.
It would be, yeah.
The one thing that was cool for me was that your setting for these books is like right around this area where I live in. In fact, I can in a couple of the times they're describing one of your characters, I can't remember, Oscar, I think, talking about right out on Route 70, heading towards Mayaca City. And just on the outskirts of Bradenton. Well, that's right over there. So that was kind of neat. But I'm going to call you out on one thing right here, because when I read it and I was like, motherfucker, like there is no way Coquina Beach is right off Interstate 75.
No.
So I got to call you on that, okay?
If you get off 75, it would take probably a good 40 minutes. Would you say?
Like the quickest time you'll make it would be at 3 o'clock in the morning when you'll hit the lights, right? And
yeah, I'm just hoping nobody gets out of Google Map and checks them out on that. Because I didn't know how else to make them get there from the interstate. Because if you live down here, you know there's no shortcut to anywhere. You got a choice between wait or wait even longer.
Well, there's plenty of shortcuts to nowhere, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you've been to Salvo Springs, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can still hear the crickets chirping there.
Yeah, when your most exciting store is at Dollar General, you know.
It's like where all the Karens in the world gathered and moved.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
Those little towns.
Yeah, but you know, it's kind of cool. Like I was reading the finishing up the Righteous Ravens, and I happened to have been down in the Keys right after that, and going back and forth, you know, across the Everglades there, and Alligator Alley, which is really cool. Like I think that's what's really cool for me for the books, is that it's in Florida.
Absolutely.
And I can really relate to the area down here, because you touch on it. There's like there's a lot of shit out there in Florida that'll kill you.
Oh, absolutely, there is. Some of it's not even human.
Some of it's right outside my house. Yeah. But and the other thing is a lot of the old people, the gray hairs.
Yeah. I guess I don't know if I touched too much on them or not, but there are a few down here. It's not called God's waiting room for no reason, that's for sure.
Well, you encounter them during the day, because after like 8:30 at night, the roads open up. You know, all you get is the Florida man. You know,
well, they've had their tea by then, and
yeah,
their Lawrence Welk DVDs, and they're back and sleeping.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we're here at my house. This is the first. And you know, I'm definitely in a 55 plus community. I'm 55 plus, you know, so you know, you take advantage of that. You can live pretty cheap, you know. They stack us up here pretty good in here, but back where I'm at, it's not too bad. We're kind of
I like it out back.
Yeah, it's real nice out back there.
Yeah, that's your own right there.
Yeah,
it's nice when you can go out back and take a piss and nobody can say anything.
Well, brother. But you know, we my wife and I, when we go out fishing a lot at night, because that's when they eat. Yeah. And we'll drive up here, be like 9 o'clock at night when we're driving out of here, and I'm like, is fucking anybody awake? Like, you know, we go by the houses and they've got the American flags or the Army flag or Marine or Navy. And then you get in front of my house, and what do I have? The black American flag hanging out in here.
I got the Gadsden flag in front of my house.
We own the Gadsden flag. Yeah. But
I got it right on a pole in the front lawn. Some of the neighbors,
But a lot of people don't realize the significance of this one, the black American flag, where everything's all black. What came out in the Confederate War, and it basically meant no surrender.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, it says that, you know, white flag is surrender, a black flag is no surrender, and a black American flag is no surrender, eat my ass.
There you go. And the French flag is surrender too, isn't it?
And eat my ass as well. Those French, they're cheeky people, man. Oh, puppy, we got a dog waiting. It's not the first time Hemi's made his way.
Hey, Hemi.
Made his way into the...
How you doing? He says, I want to be on this.
Yeah, puppy. Yeah, he's just looking for attention at this point in time.
Oh, God.
So you just got your Sportster back. The Fred Flintstone bike.
No, actually, this is the old lady Sportster.
Oh,
but yeah, how many times I put in, counting winterization, and at least 50 times, probably more than that. And I fucked up putting I just put it in wrong. I had power, and I'm thinking the battery must be working right. It's got power. I could not figure it out. I took the battery back out. So actually, I hooked it up wrong twice. Put it back again. So I sent it over to a friend of mine. He was trying to be polite about it. He says, I don't hear about the bill on that. He goes, oh, it didn't. It needed very little work. So what was wrong with it? Oh, no big deal. I was like, nah, come on, just tell me. Well, the battery was just hooked up not right. Did you mean wrong?
Yeah. So
You
had a 50-50 chance.
Those Sportster batteries are a pain in the ass anyway to take in and out. It's just like whoever designed them, I think, forgot to put the place for the battery and thought, oh God, where are we going to put the battery on this thing? So
we used to own a car like that.
Oh, this little teeny, for those of you who don't know, it barely fits into this little teeny slot. That's not an excuse though.
Yeah, the soft tail's much easier. You just got to pull the seat off.
Pull my seat off, and there it is. I can do the soft tail. I've done that successfully so far.
Yeah, a lot of times you got to dig them out there, but I'm not going to make fun of you because like I related to you yesterday. I've done some stupid shit too. You know, I mean, I used to drink and party pretty good, and I had a snoot full, and I'm putting exhaust on my bike. That was a V-Star at that point in time that I had in the stable, and so I'm doing the exhaust. And the reason I had to do the exhaust because I had to change the oil. And so yeah, the V-Star 2005 V-Star 1100 Classic, which I pumped up the motor a little. You had to actually take the front fucking pipe all the way off the bike just to get to the oil filter.
Why? Who the hell designed that?
I guess somebody going, oh, I'm going to fuck round eye real good here.
Yeah.
You know, it's their fucking manufacturing that thing.
You'll be taking it back to the shop for an oil change.
Well, I tell you what, after 3 or 4 oil changes, I bought a chromed stainless permanent oil filter that just had to be serviced like every 3 times. You'd pull it out, and then had stuff you could flush through it. So, but getting back to that story, I mean, I'm putting the muffler back on, and I'm hammered, and got distracted by something. It was the last bolt, and instead of, this was when I was taking it off actually, because I'm trying to loosen it. There's the last bolt to get the damn thing off, and I'm trying to loosen. The old lady comes out and says something to me, and my drunk ass starts to tighten it again. So she's back in there, and I'm tightening that mother, like, goddamn thing won't come loose, and I'm tightening it, motherfucker, and I'm standing up on top, fitting shit and everything, and I'm like, what are you doing? Righty tighty,
at least you figured it out, bro.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey, idiot. Yeah, but by that time I had already heard the crack that you get off of like lug nuts when you're putting them back on the car. You know, when you have to crack the nut. I had already heard that in the exhaust, and I was like, God damn it! Does it feel like it's gonna break? And I'm going the wrong way, hammer out my ass, and I stopped for a second. And I'm like, oh crap, I got to get this fucking thing off. And so I start to bring it off. My hand slips off. Oh my God. In the process, you can see the scars right here.
You got a memory from it.
I sure do.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Blood all over the damn thing. So yeah, I mean, if I had a 50-50 chance, righty tighty, lefty loosey,
Except I was
positive,
sober when I changed this battery.
Well,
and I've done it dozens of times. That's what gets me.
I got nothing.
I always say I love my motorcycles way too much to let me work on them, and I just got to remember that philosophy. I thought a battery, change my oil, my battery, anything else. I let somebody who has patience to do it. I don't have any patience anymore. If things don't go exactly as they should 100% of the time, I get angry and I'm just done with it.
See, I don't mind getting in there and to a point. I mean, my bike outside, I just had to have the neck bearings redone. There's 65,000 miles in that bike, and they were OEM original. And boy, I was soupy as hell. And I really, I noticed it. I noticed it over time, but it didn't seem much because I had adjusted to it. Before I left up north to come down here, a friend who owns a shop wanted to look at my rear tire real quick. I just got a rear tire put on, and they didn't put the valve on the tire stem on tight enough, so it was leaking air. So he gets on the bike and rides it up in there, and he gets off, and he's like, fucking something wrong with this thing. Like, your neck bearings are shot, you idiot. And I'm thinking, that's why they always say don't let somebody ride your bike. I think maybe you should from time to time, because like if somebody you trust to ride your bike.
It's a short list, but yes, I agree with you.
But trade bikes. Well, in a club, I've ridden a lot of other club brothers bikes. You ride each other's bikes, but I think that's important because somebody's going to feel something on there that you don't, because you've gone adjusted to it. So
that's why even when I write, I don't edit my own work, because I always miss something. You're so used to that.
The truth.
Oh, absolutely. What did I miss? Like, after reading it 50 times a little while ago. Oh, I put the word "r" instead of "our," which I know better than that, but I kept reading it as "our." I mean, at 30, 40 different times, I just kept reading it like it was supposed to be read. It's
an easy one to do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of that shit bothers. Prolly, Prolly. I see that written out, and I want to go crazy off that one.
I know. We just add an A and a B and just spell it like you're supposed to. Yeah.
The thing is that I was an asshole last year to somebody and said, it's probably, and it's in the dictionary, probably isn't in the dictionary. Motherfucker, it is. They put it in there.
Oh my God.
They put it in there.
Putting slang
It's in
now?
Webster's as slang now. That's right. And I was like, God damn it, wrong again. Oh well. Get old enough, you stop caring about being wrong. But let's get back to your writing. You alluded on something. You just recently destroyed a new work.
Yes.
Want to talk about that?
Gator Alley. Actually, that was supposed to be written before Righteous Ravens. And it just wasn't going anywhere in my head. And I thought, well, why don't I just reverse order, write the checkbook first, and maybe in my head it'll work itself out. Well, thus far, it has not worked itself out.
No.
I got into the first 4 chapters and I'm reading it. I said, I don't want to write garbage. I know everybody's like, I got about 1 a year coming out, and they usually come out around September. But I don't want to just write something that just has a cover and a back cover and garbage in the middle. I just don't. And it's garbage. It's not working for me. I'm not crawling inside the characters' heads like I used to. And I like the whole idea when I'm trying to get done, but it's not falling from my brain to my fingers and onto the screen.
So integrity, you say?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't want to write garbage. I don't want to just have a bunch of monkeys hitting the keyboard. And of course, I don't have the name recognition like a lot of people do, so who can get away with that?
Yeah, but what? Is it that big of a deal, really? I mean, obviously, yes, you want to make money back on your books.
Yeah,
but
I make enough to pay my bills. I mean, I don't know if you read on Facebook yesterday, but I sat in the same room with a guy who does a little bit better with his writing.
Yeah,
I was at Columbia yesterday. Turns out Stephen King was there. I didn't even notice until he got up and left.
That's pretty cool.
And I heard him whisper something about well, I put this hat on so people would, I don't know what they said, leave me be, or didn't recognize me. But I'll be damned, there he was. Sat there for the whole meal and didn't recognize, but he's facing the corner. Must be his usual spot when he comes in.
I've been in situations like that with famous people, and I lived on Cape Cod for 20-something years, and they want to be left alone.
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, you get famous. Do you want people coming up and fawning out over you all the time?
No, I don't imagine you would.
Yeah.
No.
But that was in St. Armand Circle.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm surprised they let you there because
oh my God.
because the Sarasota police usually will catch me on the way in and go, hey, Hank, no, we don't need you riding around the circle.
Well, they did tell me
they
did tell me I couldn't come in with a shirt I had on. They said there was a dress code. I had to go next door and buy this hideously ugly shirt with a parrot on it.
You said you're going to wear that here today. I'm glad. Thank you for not.
It's in the closet where it belongs, where
Yeah.
everything belons.
I mean, God, you're over in the high rent district when you're over there, like Burnt Key and Lodi Beach. And
it wasn't like a t-shirt shop. I could just go in and get, I went to Sarasota Beach and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
I don't think there's a t-shirt shop on St. Armand.
Very high end. It was $60 because I wanted to go have lunch.
I was going to say, I mean, I think that's like, home of the $3,000 purse.
Yeah, it was pricey, but I really wanted that salad bad. So,
but it's cool. It's an eclectic little community. You'll get like somebody out there will be like on a cello, a stand-up cello, jamming away, right out there,
I didn't notice one person with a tattoo though, other than me.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm looking around, I'm thinking, I'm the only one with tattoos showing. Everybody else has got their $500 polo shirts on. And
yeah, I was out at Woody's River Roo a couple weekends back with a friend.
That place, yeah.
I love Woody's River Roo.
It's a great place.
But it doesn't attract, it attracts bikers, but not the bikers that I'm used to.
Yeah.
No,
I know what you mean.
And I've got all my club shit on, and I kind of stood out.
Yeah, I know. It's I don't want to say the Sunday riders, but because there's some I got some friends that go there, but there's a lot more of them than there used to be. That's for sure.
Well, it's changed an environment. I mean, down here in Florida, it's year round, right? Up north, you lived in upstate New York, you Finger Lakes area, you know all about that. You get a riding season, you get an off time, you get your bike up in the lift.
Take your battery out.
Or in your case, have your friends install it again correctly.
I am from now on.
Yeah, no, Jesus. But down here, it's year round. And so they just go, 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 go. And so they become inured to that fact.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty chill scene down here.
Yeah, that's was the main reason I moved down here. I thought to ride down here year round. There's no helmet law down here. I just thought it's just gonna be perfect for me. I rode in the hills and the twists and turns and the twisties a lot over the years. I don't miss them. I like that straight flat road sometimes.
Yeah, but Florida's got some curvy roads.
Up north, I see up by, I can never say that town.
Apakaka, yeah. That's the tail of the lizard, they call it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
50-something miles. There's a couple of different ways into it and around it.
I like those straight flat roads.
It's there's more of an urban assault here. And you're a biker, man. Like you get this grade, like you allude to it a couple times in your books. We're gonna get on the scoot. We're gonna take a ride up the coast. It's gonna be great. You want to talk about that? You
on that? Ride up the coast. A 10-mile ride up the coast.
What day? Yeah,
will be probably
2 hours.
A 2-hour ride at the coast, and most of the time I'll be sitting at red lights and in traffic.
It is so true.
Sweat off your head. You don't realize it's hot until you get a red light in Florida. You think, this isn't so bad. The weather's not so bad.
Yeah, that sun will strip the skin right off.
It automatically quits working as soon as you stop.
I mean, we're talking 30 minutes in the sun, and you don't have any screen on.
No,
you don't have a base cam. You're toast.
This is why I like to try to ride inland if I can. It's just
so gingers beware.
Yeah,
down here in Florida.
The other day I was going through Anna Marie Island and across Bradenton Beach, and
one of my favorite areas.
Oh, beautiful! It was last summer, and this girl gets out. Not that I noticed. But nice, beautiful bikini, but milky white skin, missions and plates. I thought, honey, you have no clue what you're in for. I suggest you lay in the sun for a half an hour and go home.
Yeah, there ain't no amount of sunscreen number that's going to save your ass.
No, you're going to be as red as.
Oh man,
I can't think of a good cogent metaphor right now.
Yeah, so but Florida's got some real good riding, but it's in a lot of real desolate areas.
But it's nice. I like when you go in and you see some of the signs that saying "Welcome to the real Florida." I think people just think of Florida and they think it's all beaches and bikinis, but there's some nice.
That's one Florida.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's some nice scenery inland. There really is.
Oh gosh, yeah, and I tell you what, a lot of people just want to be left the fuck alone in Central Florida. Let me tell you, in the inland areas, and all you have to do is look at their compound to see that.
Oh.
The fencing people make a real good bank down here.
Fence.
Yeah, with 72 Trump flags all around it.
Walking around with a 9mm on their hip.
Yeah, and this the 9-year-old boy. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, I know.
That was good.
They got 4 different kinds of boats in there. One's an airboat. 6 different pickup trucks.
You wave and they.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Who are you?
But it is pretty cool though. I mean, you get over like Mayaca City, there's not much to it, but a general store is a pretty neat destination point to go to. Charlotte's Web, you always meet some freaky, weird people out there.
Oh, absolutely. I love Charlotte's
Well, the owner's freaky and weird, so.
I like to do that trifecta. Go to Charlotte's Web, then down into Limestone, which was Solomon's hometown, and Herb's Limestone. If nobody's been there. It had to been an old general store at one time.
Yeah.
That they never built on. They got a porch on it. There's a dog laying on the porch. The green bean cans are ashtrays. It was just, it's very iconic.
There's a lot of that still down here, and you can find a lot of shit to ride to here in Florida. Like my next ride, Gatorland.
Oh, okay.
You familiar with Gatorland?
It's
over near Lake Okeechobee.
I was going to say, because I was just out of before I wrote Black River, I went out to Okeechobee because that's where
it's almost into Sebring.
Okay. I remember the signs for it now.
It's on 70.
Yeah, but I just went into Okeechobee and looked around there, just kind of get the feel for the place. But that was a nice ride out there.
I bet it was.
I want to get up to the Graffiti Bridge at some point in time. I know it's kind of a tourist spot at this point, but I'm curious to see it now.
Another place, I mean, I definitely want to do the ride, not a drive, but the ride down to the Keys.
Yeah.
I mean, the Keys, first time there was just about a month ago. And, it kind of grabs you, it captures you.
Yeah, I've never been down there.
No, I tell you what, you get down there, you're not going to get lost.
I don't know how you could.
No, you can't, because it's like, you know,
Just turn around if you're
I was
lost.
just gonna say, you know, I'm looking at water. Okay, turn around. There's Route 1. You know, well, no, there's some bigger areas to it. I mean, Marathon Key is big. Pine Island Key is huge. Where I was at, Isla Morada. I know I'm doing that because my sister-in-law will correct me. She lives down in Tavernier. You know, there's, you know, it's, you know, mile wide, you know, across, but boy,
Island.
you're like you know, 5 foot elevation. You know, you can't help but think, where does the fucking water go when the tide raises and
I know
the hurricanes come through?
the
But
hurricanes come through there quite a bit.
But you know, we stayed at this little, you know, motel, not a bad place, but you know, the 1960s called. They want their
Oh geez.
that they had new mattresses. That was cool. So it was kind of kitschy, you know. But I mean, it was like 1960.
They still got the color TV sign out in the front.
Yes, actually they did.
Like that's
But a couple of the
Running
houses
water.
that were right down in that area, because you know, there's the ubiquitous bar on the water where all the locals go to, and the people living in trailers all over the place, and the homeless living in bushes. But there were a couple of houses there. One said that it was like 130 years old, and I'm like,
wow.
so
That's impressive.
it's impressive. You
Yeah.
know?
It's impressive. It hasn't been wiped out or redeveloped or something at some point in time.
Yeah, you would think, but you know, so even a lot of the places down here do stand the test of time. I'm not going to lie to you. Hurricane Ian did a real number. Have you been down to Fort Myers?
No, but I heard it wiped out the Ragged Ass Saloon, which was that broke my heart.
About 70% of Pine Island was devastated. Like St. James City was you know, 2/3 of it was gone. That's where Ragged Ass Saloon was. That's a pretty cool place right there. I know Matt Lachey was the one that really bothered me. That's that little town you go to go out. It's
okay.
with all the tiny houses.
All right. It was a couple of years ago because again, I went out there when I wrote Rebellious Youth because that's where it took place. That was where their clubhouse was out in Pine Island.
I thought it was
Sanibel Island.
Sanibel. That's
right.
one over.
That's right. He was on Pine Island.
Sanibel was devastated too.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Well, it was not a pleasant time.
Yeah.
No hurricanes in this area in the last 5 years. I think we've statistically are done because they don't usually happen on this side of the state.
Unless you believe in, you know, the tinfoil hat people in Harp.
Oh, now what are they saying?
Oh, they're saying that the government's got a weather machine and they enhanced that hurricane.
Really?
Yeah, just like they enhanced they had enhanced the earthquake in Turkey because there was no epicenter. It went up and down a line.
Are they the same ones that wrote to the Coast Guard back in the 60s to get people off Gilligan's Island?
No, those are actual citizens that believe the other way.
Did they drink the water at Camp Lejeune, possible?
No shit, right? I'm beginning to. I think I just want to jump on there for mental anguish from them trying to get me to jump on the lawsuit. You know, at this point,
I'm tired of hearing it.
Holy shit! I've gotten phone calls on it. I get texts on it. I get emails on it.
I was in the Army. They got my record. I was not in the Marines, for God's sakes.
Oh, so they really didn't care about you?
No, they didn't care about me at all. No, the standards were really high back then too. Let me tell you.
But you know, we laugh about conspiracy theorists. Think of all the conspiracy theories that have recently come true.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So at this point in time, I kind of don't want to listen to the people that have done the research.
Oh, I don't trust them anymore.
Because I think a lot of these conspiracy theorists, they do the research for you. They go down deep.
They actually research it.
Yeah.
The other ones just swallow the narrative. You know, the only difference, what would they say? The difference between a conspiracy theory and truth is
6 weeks. 6 weeks.
Yep,
It was 6 months. Now we're up in that. We're up in the ante on that. This will be episode 132. Back in episode 11 was the start of the whole pandemic and all of that.
Oh gosh, the 2 weeks to flatten the curve.
2 weeks to flatten the curve and all that. And Brother Dirty and I, we did our post-apocalypse episode where it was sort of tongue-in-cheek. You know, we start out. He's got a balaclava on. You know, I've got. Yeah, I think I had one on too, and sunglasses.
The goggles.
And we had weapons. We had knives, and I had my samurai sword, and we had AR-15s, and we were just talking about how to survive a post-apocalypse. We said it as a joke. I mean, I lit myself on fire in that episode.
did.
Yeah, I was showing how Purell is flammable, and so I put a little pile down, lit it on fire, and then I went tamped it out, and I stuck my hand down here, and we're talking away, and then I'm like, motherfucker, my hand's on fire down.
You thought it was red ants, didn't you?
No, I was on fire. I burned the skin and shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, but I said at that point in time, this was 2020, March 2020. And I'd said April, yeah, 2 weeks to flatten the curve. And I'd said, I wouldn't be more surprised if I saw somebody walking down the street with a big fucking 12-inch rubber dildo stuck to their forehead. And like that was child's play compared to what we're going through now.
Oh.
The revelations that we get on a daily basis is enough. I mean, you know, I finally learned, you know, you hear about it, but I never really looked into it, what cognitive dissidence is.
Yeah.
And we are experiencing
absolutely
full dose right now.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, that's basically denying the truth right before your eyes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's the opposite of suspending your disbelief,
Yeah.
which, you know, you rely heavily on for your book.
Absolutely,
you know?
I do.
You know, suspend your disbelief.
And suspend the cash from your wallet.
Suspend cash from your wallet. Which brings me around, because here at the Biker's Lifestyle Podcast, there is no rhyme or reason. I think that's what people, what the 7 or 8 that watch, like about us. But Righteous Ravens. Let's talk about Righteous Ravens. Okay, so Female Motorcycle Club, they're 1%ers, right?
They put the diamond on, but if you notice, it's not on the cover.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I put the diamond on every cover.
Yeah.
Except for that one.
And I had a hard time getting into that one at first.
Oh, most people did, yeah.
And that's when I realized that I was a misogynist and I was a chauvinist. And yet you still got me.
I enjoyed that book.
You still had me riveted in my seat.
Good storyline, good ending.
It's a great ending. I wish you had gone into a little more depth.
Oh, I liked leaving it right like that.
Yeah, you could go. God damn it, you could have filled
up. If they need a film of it, then they could do the back, you know, the scenes in the.
You missed an opportunity,
how it happened and all that.
You missed an opportunity.
I kind of just like that whole the way it ended with the priest and all that. Let it.
But you did a cool thing, because it causes you to want to go back and read the book.
Yeah.
And that's smart. You get the hook.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, I was you know, motorcycle club member. You know, I mean, we're not 1%ers, but you know, we're a 3-piece patch club. And you start talking about women and 3-piece patch clubs and women only and 1%er clubs, and there are a few. There's one very famous one here in Florida.
Yeah, I know who they are.
Yeah.
My old lady was in that club. Oh boy. I won't even get it started.
We'll just leave it there, because I don't need them bitches are crazy. I don't need them coming after me, because I'm easily findable. But yeah, man, I had a hard time. Like I said, I had a hard time wrapping my head around that. It was a tampon fest to some degree.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely. My editor said, "Why do you have them crying so much?" That's just my version of what women do, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you don't hear again. Chauvinists didn't feel the necessity to cry once.
Yeah. But I'm thinking,
go figure.
Yeah, maybe that's the chauvinist in me. I just assume women cry all the time, or maybe it's just they cry with me.
Well, you know, that's what actually that is what becomes blatantly obvious when you get towards the end of the book. It's like, wait a minute, this is a female's point of view written from a male's perspective.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. So I highly urge people to read your books. But who reads? These aren't people who reads anymore. Have you thought about putting them on Kindle? Or the equivalent thereof now?
They're available in ebook, except for the first one, Demons Rising, and I'm just having a hell of a time trying to get that done, because it was easier to do it when they first came out. But the rest of them are available in ebook. But I push mine just because I think paper books are going to make a comeback. I'm not even a big ebook fan anyway.
It hurts my eyes.
It does. I stare at a computer all day long. What do I want to stare at a computer all day long? And I like dog ear in the book. Old fashioned that way.
But tell you what, man, I was reading ebooks for a while, and then I got back into the had a club brother, when maybe the doc, you know a little bit of my story.
Mhm.
I was diagnosed and the doctors said, "Oh, give me up for dead." And I was supposed to be dead by now. That's how I got in this house in Florida. I wasn't supposed to live, Dutch.
And here you are.
And here I am,
All grateful for that.
defying logic. And I just completely lost my fucking train of thought.
You're talking about. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Ebooks. You're going from ebooks.
Ebooks. And so I went from ebooks back to the paper because a club brother, rest in peace, he's dead now, but he would come and visit me. And because I was, into the house. And he got me out of the Jack Reacher novels,
Oh, all right.
And so, I've got all 25 of them, 26 now, in book form. And so he gives me the first few books, right? And I'm going from an e-reader to that. And then I'm like, we're reading the book. And then I'm like, trying to swipe the book, And then I had a couple of books on ebook, then I went back to those, and then I'm like trying to turn the page,
Mhm.
of the reader, so you can still get immersed. But yeah, I agree with you. It hurts your eyes.
It does. I think the paper ones are gonna, come back. I think they slowly are. Really, I think a lot of people are going back to it. And I like selling them in that format anyway. I haven't been out to a book show in a while. I got to get back out there. I keep saying that, yet I'm not doing it. I enjoy doing that, and just signing them for people, meeting people, and can't really do that with an ebook.
No, it's kind of tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me etch your computer screen. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's an original Dutch Van Alstin right there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's worth about $12. Payable in advance.
I have to be paying you for damaging your screen.
Need you to buy my beers.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, man. People go back to paper books. That'd be cool. I see that vinyl is making a comeback for
and I don't know why. Why does everybody want to hear the pops and the scratches? And
well, it's interesting with vinyl. They say that it added more depth and body. It was what we were used to, right?
Yeah.
But vinyl was prohibited by the amount of decibels. And what I mean by that is that they're etched in wax, and the needle, depending if it was up or if it was down, created the grooves, and the grooves is what the needle reacted to. And you could only groove it down so far or up so far before it interfered with the needle being able to skip out of the grooves and causing damage. And so that limited the decibels to I don't know, 30 to 80 or 90.
I still managed to crank it up when I was a kid, though.
Well, but you can only crank so loud,
right? Before
it started, the music would physically distort.
Yeah.
And that was the limitations. And then we had, analog. So we're going from vinyl, and now we're going into analog on the digital CDs, and they just didn't have because they're recording from the audio portion onto the computer, and so of course that was sort of transferred over. And it wasn't until we went to digital, I think, that they got a real control over that, because they've got a larger decibel bandwidth to deal with.
But I still don't want to go back to vinyl. I know it's old school, but so is the Chevy Chevette, and I don't want to go back to those either.
Yeah, I used to have an old I had a Pioneer granite-based turntable.
I do remember that name being the big name.
Yeah,
you got a Pioneer.
Yeah, I had
in your car. My Chevy Nova had one of those.
I had the Techniques, the big stack there with I had my speakers. I had Scott speaker systems, which were like Bose. They would burn before they'd blow. It's like the electronics would physically melt and burn the apparatus. I blew those.
Bringing back some good memories.
Yeah, it's hard to even find that shit nowadays.
All it's missing is the cocaine, the cheap women, and the beer.
Oh boy.
Well, it was the 80s. Let's be honest.
What was the 80s?
Yeah, I always say there's pictures of me, so I know I was there.
I was a professional, and I was a professional concert goer there for a while. We'd get tickets. It'd be 15, $18.
Yeah, I remember I went to see Triumph, and I had to save up. It was $12 for a ticket.
You don't hear enough about Triumph.
No,
you hear about
you
hear about goddamn Rush.
Yep.
but you don't hear enough
Tribe
about.
was excellent.
They were the other power trio out of
Yep.
Canada that was Allied Forces was a
Oh, I think
breakthrough
they're
album.
phenomenal band.
Yeah, I mean,
Rick Emmett, Gil, Mike Levine, Rick Emmett and Gil. I can't remember his last name, the drummer. But they were a phenomenal band.
yeah, I mean, they had that one
music.
big hit, you know. Well, actually, they had more than that, but that one that was like huge.
Lay It on the Line, Magic
Yeah.
Power was
That's
big.
that's the one. That's
Was
the
it?
one that I think it almost went number one.
That was a good song.
But God, yeah, back in the day, man, you know, old Led Zeppelin, you know.
Mm.
Ah, shit. Boomers were a bunch of fucking couple of boomers, man.
I was watching Fast Times at Ridgemont High the other night, and I forgot about that line where he was giving him tips on how to get in the girls' pants, and he said, "Any opportunity to play Led Zeppelin #4 side B, do it."
Yeah, and then they play Kashmir, you know, which was off of Houses of the Holy. No, it was off of it was a double album. I should know it because it's one of my favorites, but either way, they say all that Zeppelin 4 and then they play Kashmir. That cracked me up. That was a good movie. You know, I mean, that was high school.
I forgot about how it was good.
That was class of 82.
Yep.
82 when they recorded that, they filmed it. I was class of 80. I think you were class of 82.
82.
82. Yeah, my wife was class of 81. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is when you're all gonna, if anybody's listening at this point in time, you're all just going, you're all a bunch of motherfucking old people.
We're this close to yelling, "Get off my lawn!"
That's not gonna be me. You know, I mean, there's people in here that are younger than me. I refuse to get old.
No, I know, me too.
I tried it. I tried to conform to anything. I did. I tried to be a golfer, you know. I mean, actually I was pretty good, but
God, I couldn't be. Favorite quote from Mark Twain is, "Golf is a
good walk made bad.
made bad by a little ball."
Made bad by a little ball. Yeah, Samuel Clemens. Jeez.
I played golf years ago when my kids started to play it. I always said I was a pizza golfer. Everything was a slice. I couldn't hit that damn thing straight to save my life.
Fucking golf. You don't see a lot of bikers playing golf.
No. I see WCFR, who, like, I love all those guys. I really do. But there's somebody said about putting out a golf tournament. Thinking, I don't think that's going to take off for some reason. I don't think there's going to be a lot of interest in that.
No, I know it. Not unless they can have, like, you know, 3 drink stops a hole.
Exactly. That would just be, you could just do a poker run if you just want to drink everywhere every 10 minutes.
They're an amazing story, though.
Oh, they really are.
Lee
Haygood is living the dream, and he just has a natural charisma to him that is just. I know he was one of the original founders, but he's really the one that made it. When Chris left,
Yeah, his neighbor, yeah.
Lee really is the one that made it grow. I mean, exponentially.
Well, I mean,
it grew organically. It's not like he promotes it or advertises or anything like that. It's just.
I've actually been. They started up right about, I think it was about a year and a half before I moved to here. And when I moved here, we were doing the Bikers Lifestyle podcast. No, we started it after I'd moved here. But I've been watching them as a social media group, you know, on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I admit, there's 2 or 3 episodes I talk shit about. Because I think in the beginnings, they were trying to make noise like they were a motorcycle club type.
Yeah, that was more Chris was saying some stupid things.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Lee's very careful about that. I think somebody suggested about making a clubhouse. I messaged him. And I just said, "Is this something you're really thinking about doing?" Because I was going to just suggest that he not. And he said, "Absolutely not. We're not." I said, "That's good. that's not a good idea."
Then you'll have people back patches.
Yeah.
And,
you'll have some visitors. That's for sure.
well, it's a lack of respect.
It is. I agree, and I think Lee knows that. He calls it a party. It's just a giant party with family and friends, and that's.
I'd say it's quite an organized party.
Oh, it is. It is. He likes to call it just. I think their motto is "Ain't no party like a West Coast party."
I'm amazed because, you know, I mean, I follow them on social media just because I like to keep my. You can find out a lot about the rides and the shit going on for bikers in this area, but I think on 52 weeks a year, and I would hazard to say probably 40 of them, they have some sort of a ride.
Oh, they always got something going on.
There's nary a weekend that doesn't have something
No,
going on.
They are always doing something, that's for sure.
And they'll get 100 people, like in a drop of a hat.
Yeah. I'm a little leery about riding in the bigger groups with, I mean, there's a lot of them that know what they're doing. There's a lot of them that don't know what they're doing. That has nothing to do with WCFR. Those are the individuals. But one time I rode with them, I had somebody almost rear end me, and it was a lady. She actually got flippant with me, and I said, there should be no reason you're that close behind me at any time.
Yeah.
No, no reason. Well, this isn't the old days where you got to ride parade and next to each other, and
well, especially in those groups.
yeah, just do this nice wide staggered and just stay away from me.
Well, down here, I've noticed that the clubs pretty much do the club thing, and the social groups pretty much do their own thing.
Yeah.
Up north, a lot of the social people, like when my club does rides, we get a lot of people from the public will come in and join in. And well, there's a lot of other clubs that do the same thing, a lot of organizations. And so we're going to a lot of different rides, but we'll be on the rides with a couple 120 people or so. And you got patch members in there, and then you get these idiots, ride who shouldn't be in, especially in the front of the pack or in the middle of the pack, and
or 3 miles back in the back.
But there's always the first run, right? You get the group together and you're leaving, going to that initial spot, and that's like the shakedown run for the group. And there's always some dipshit, like and one of us will go up to talk to the person who's doing the ride. It's like, hey, that person right there, like, I bet they're probably a cool person.
Yeah,
but they shouldn't be riding where they're at. They're gonna kill somebody.
Absolutely.
Because the club guys know how to handle their machines.
Especially been doing it a long time.
Yeah, you ride parade, you start to, you're riding.
I'm very, very particular about who rides next to me. I really, even today, just.
Yeah, you have to. That's my lack of professionalism right there.
Oh.
My phone just dinged. Dirty, it'll happen. I'll forget to do it, and then Dirty was like, come on, can we be professional? Seriously, likes to give me shit about it. So that was for you, Dirty. But yeah, we had one like last year. There was a woman, driving along the road, out country roads, Wisconsin, right? And him at this intersection in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, club guy from another club, I call him brother, but Smoking Joe, goes by with his old lady on the back, and there's a woman in front of him, and she's going real slow, and she's teetering up the corners and stuff. And so I stop and, hey Joe, how you doing, man? And he, said, hey, this person just went down. Oh, here's some money for him. He hopped off the saddlebag and threw a $50 bill in for the cause for a club brother that had gone down, which is, it's how it works in the community, right? And I'm like looking at the woman, and she's probably in her late 60s, and she's first time on the bike. I know it for a fact. She's on this Softail, which is probably too big. She's a short woman, probably too big for her. And she was just teetering. I mean, just going so slow. And we get on this ride about 2 months later, and she's in front of me. And she's about killing me a couple times. I got a club brother next, and she about kills him, and he's over next to me because we're riding shoulder to shoulder.
There's no reason for that.
And we get to the like, hey man, I know that like your old lady's mother, but man, she's got to ride back.
Yeah.
Like this.
This is my life we're talking about. I'm not gonna. My politeness goes out the window when it comes to that.
Yeah, well, you get the yo-yo effect. That kind of in the middle of the pack, it's kind of like a rubber band. But you back in your club days, though, I'm sure you remember those 90 miles an hour, shoulder to shoulder,
from Syracuse to Rochester along I-90.
4 feet between you and the guy in front of you.
Sometimes we were even sober. Oh God, yeah. And I gotta admit, that still made me nervous even then. Makes me nervous now.
Yeah.
I know they gotta have the basic trust, and you do, because I did it. So I must have trusted them enough, but jeez.
I was in one a couple years back, and it was with a bunch of some heavy hitting clubs. And there's like 90, 100 of us. And we're owning the streets, like 0 fucks given for stoplights and stop signs. And it's like 92, 93 degrees on there. And like me and probably about 5 or 6 other bikes, we all had brake paid. Like we literally lost our brakes in the middle of all this.
Hmm.
My club brother Boomer almost wore me like a suppository
Jeez.
because I was right behind him, and thankfully there was no oncoming traffic, so I was able to scoot around him. Because I mean, you get in those situations, you're relying heavily on your front brake. You get your front, your rear, but I
Absolutely.
mean, front is so much quicker.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, I go for the fucking front brake and nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's scary.
And so by the time I'm getting my foot up, get on the rear brake, I'm shooting out around him, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like pointing down, like, "No brake, man."
Yeah, that's something I like to have on my bike.
It'll pucker your asshole. That's for damn sure.
I like to stop when I want to stop.
Yeah.
I want a tree to do it, or just eventual gradually stopping. Neither of those are good options.
Yeah. The difference between the club guys though and your your rider that puts on a couple thousand miles a year is that the shit that they'll go on social media about, and oh my god, I almost lost it on this turn, I hit 2 pieces of gravel and it scooted my back end around, I almost died. Versus the club guys, like, that happened to me fucking 10 times on the way here. Like, what I mean?
Yeah. Scars from this, and scars from that. Oh, I know.
Oh, you've been on a bike long enough, it just becomes like you're one.
And of the top 10 most dangerous things, grass on the road is not one of them.
No,
I don't know what the obsession is for that with people.
with the grass clippings thing.
I don't
Yeah,
understand that. It doesn't change chemical compounds and turn into silicone. It's grass.
yeah.
When it's wet, it's slippery. Well, roads are slippery when they're wet.
Well, here's an idea. Like, do what I do. Like, if I'm cruising along and I'm going to hit like really heavy patch of gravel or something, pull your clutch in.
Exactly. The old steel deck bridges, same thing. You just ride it.
Oh fuck, right.
I hate those things.
You've been up north. You've done the Mackinac Island, the
No,
Mackinac Bridge.
no.
That's corrugated.
Yeah.
There was an old bridge, Route 20 in Savannah, or the Savannah, Illinois area over to, it might not have been Route 20 or whatever the route is. Could have been 20, was corrugated as well. And it was like, it's like you're on top of oil with water mixed in.
I never, that and groove pavement. It's just like, there'd be a special place in hell for the people who invented that.
Yeah, the groove pavement, then it'll pucker your butt, it catches you a little.
It does.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Ride it out.
Ride it out. The old lady, I gotta give her credit. She went down and still made the rest of the ride.
That's scary though.
Yeah, we were heading out to a place in Wisconsin called New Diggings. And New Diggings is like an old West town. It's like population 50. Now it's just one bar, but there were 2. The New Diggings bar,
25 in each.
Yeah. You walk in and there's like underwear and bras and shit all stapled to the ceiling.
I love that.
It's an old general store. I mean, it's like over 100 years old. A big Lincoln potbelly burner in there. And there's hotel rooms on top, so it's quite the place. We're going out there, and she hits some gravel on a big turn. I'm leading the pack, and she's in the middle, and then I got another good friend behind. So we're just sort of keeping her and a couple of the riders safe. And all of a sudden I look in my rearview mirror and ain't nobody behind me.
That's scary.
Yeah, that is scary. So I, pull a quick U, fly back real quick, and then see her picking herself up off the ground.
Wow,
see the big skid mark. We'd come through a huge sweeping turn.
It's a mild relief to see her picking the bike up though.
That had a lot of heavy gravel buildup on the outside. And she got into it, and she, you got 2 choices. Like you can throttle it out and ride through it like you're on a dirt bike.
Yeah. Or
you can pull the clutch in and kind of like slow down, stop translating the power to your rear wheel, and negotiate through. And she did neither of those things. she hit the brakes, and fuck, I mean, she fucked her helmet up, she fucked her chaps up, she fucked her jacket up. Like the bike was messed up. Like she had half a windscreen on it. She's missing lights. It had bent her triple tree. Just for her up where her handlebars, like the whole thing up there. And so it was kind of like over like this, and so it wasn't right. And we went another 30 miles to New Diggings, and then came back. It's like 95 miles.
Give her that.
And she rode it.
Good for her.
I got to give her credit. She went riding in like just bullet dust and that bike falling apart. We duct taped it up and zip tied it together.
Duct tape is magic, isn't it?
Ah, it's your friend on the road, man. Fucking hey. But yeah, she was fine. And she got home, got off the bike, and then she started to shake.
Yeah.
And then she didn't get on her bike. I got it all fixed back up again.
Reality kicked in. Yeah.
And reality kicked in, and it was another year and a half before she threw a leg over another bike.
Yeah, it was about a year after my accident, but I didn't have much choice. I didn't have a bike. It took a year to fix that thing. It was a pain in the ass getting it back. They scrapped it. I had to go buy it back in the salvage company and
buy 6 batteries because I put them in wrong.
I actually let somebody know who knew. His name was Hal O'Connor. God bless his soul. He was a 80-some-year-old guy who used to work on. He was like one of the few people left in the country that could work on the older Indians, like pre-1940. And he said, "I'll put it back together for you." He goes, "But it's going to take about a year because I'm going to do it in my spare time." And that was one of the best times I had, just hanging out in that shop with him with the heater going and drinking a little bourbon and tinkering with a bike. And yeah, it took him about a year, but he got it back together. It was worth it.
Yeah.
So like the only year of my life, I think I didn't ride a bike other than people who took pity on me, let me ride theirs for a little bit.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, a couple things happen to you, right? Either you get right back on, it doesn't bother you, you go down, whatever.
Yeah.
Or it changes people's lives forever.
Yeah, I think I'm just a little bit more leery about people behind me because I never thought I'd get run over from behind. I'm always looking to my left, looking to my right, looking in the front, but I didn't think somebody would just like literally just run you over.
I got sideswiped from behind by a guy in a dish truck, a van who was installing dish. He took my saddlebag off and like hit my leg on this side as he flew by, and ripped that saddlebag right off that bike like nothing, man. And then he stops and he has the audacity to say, "I didn't see you."
Oh, that's.
And I was like, "Motherfucker!" Like,
oh, that just sets me.
I'm a 6'2", 350-pound man
Oh.
on a motorcycle, and you didn't fucking see me.
Then you can't see a little kid running out to get a ball in the street. So take the bus, please. Yeah. That's just, I hate when people say that. Yes, you can see me. It's called paying attention.
Yeah.
This woman that ran me over, I must have been, the whole night was kind of a fog. I must have been screaming at her because I remember her saying, "Sir, you're making me feel bad." Like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll bleed a little quieter and, I'll pretend my arm's not bent completely backwards. I'm making you feel bad. I don't want to make you feel bad.
Yeah.
She did run me over. Yeah. She said the same thing. "I just didn't see you. How do you not see this? How do you not see a bike painted like Fred Flintstone?"
Right, I know, right? Yeah. Flintstone, man. How do you not see that?
How do you not see old Yabba Dabba Do? I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I'm not a fan of the shirt that says, "Can you see me now, asshole?"
No, I don't either. It's kind of.
I agree with it, but I don't agree with wearing it.
Wear it. No, none of that kind of stuff. Just it's very commercial, I guess. I don't know what the word is.
And that's just to create something you don't need. That we don't need to create any more road rage out there. And here, I mean, shit down here. Florida, 22 million people, right? I mean,
we're the second largest state now,
and the majority of the people are on the coasts.
Oh yeah,
and I'm 8 miles from the coast right here. In this area, I noticed it a lot the first year that winter we were down here. And I'm like, man, there's like a motorcyclist dying one a week down here. Yeah. And that's exactly what the locals. Yeah.
Not surprised.
Yeah. And you don't have to be a genius to figure out why.
No,
because some of them are just going entirely too fast.
Oh, I've seen some of them that I don't get it. I always think, what do you try? Either you're trying to prove something, or you're trying to save 3 seconds off your destination.
Well,
which it is.
Florida, I gotta say, man, Florida in this area here, especially, I don't know if it's the rest of the state, but goddamn, a cycle with stoplights is almost 5 minutes.
Oh God, yeah. University and 301.
Yeah,
you can make and eat a sandwich while you're waiting there. A couple of intersections that are like that. They're just crazy.
And so I think that just makes they get a little crazy. They sit in traffic, especially on a bike. You're getting hot. Your clutch hand's starting to fatigue a little. So, we'll see them, and then they're fucking weaving in and out of traffic. I'm like, that little blue-haired lady who was looking through the gap in the you know, and the steering wheel and the dashboard there,
Sitting on her milk
you
crate.
know, about that big, sitting on the milk crate. It's like, she don't see you for shit, man.
No.
And yeah, I've seen a lot, and I've grown inured to it. I will admit there are some intersections. I mean, I'll ride anywhere, but there are some intersections I try to avoid.
Yeah.
Some
Some of them are really too wide. And like again, on 301, State Route 7, right down in here, State Route 70 and 301 is really long. I'm always leery about even going through a green light there. I think it's like the longest 2 seconds of my life. I usually beat going through there. It's like, please notice me.
Now you've lived here how long now?
About 12 years.
Can I ask a question? What the fuck is it about Fruitville Road in Sarasota?
I don't know.
Why are there so many fatalities?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's that section maybe between University
Mhm.
and Bee Ridge,
Yeah.
and right in that area, and it's like once or twice a week.
Yeah. There's a lot.
It's amazing to me. I had a friend who was down here, right? They post on Facebook. Yeah, we just got into an accident. And I'm looking in the background. I'm like, that motherfucker, that's Fruitville Road, isn't
Yeah.
it?
That and Big Ben up toward Tampa seems to attract a lot of them. I don't know what that is, what about that area, but
Well, it's up near those crazy people in Gibbstown.
mhm.
I mean, they've got like, there's literally like a stack of unsolved murders from that area.
Yeah, that's where you want to put if you're in a cage, lock your doors.
Yeah, you got a place, you know, both circus performers and circus freaks,
Mhm.
you know, but it's cool. It's a cool area to ride through because it'll be like, you know, neighborhoods, and then some guy's got like a Ferris wheel set up, you know.
Of course, what is a freak nowadays?
Boy, that
The
is,
circus freaks would be laid off because they're not freaks anymore.
no, I just go to the shopping mall.
Yeah, go to Walmart. Let's see circus freaks.
Oh my God, right? Fucking Walmart. Yeah, down here in Florida, Walmart and Publix.
Oh, there's a big difference, isn't there?
It's
With the
huge.
staff, with the store.
Within a 15-minute drive,
You want to hang yourself when you get into a Walmart. It's just like it's miserable and depressing. And
within a 15-minute drive of this area right here, between Sarasota and Bradenton, there are 7 Walmarts that I can
no,
go
I'm
to.
not surprised. That and Publix. You can't swing a dead cat not hitting the Publix anymore.
Yeah, but the nice thing is that if you're interested in finding Chinese food, find the Publix. Because they're usually
Oh yeah.
right there, you know. But yeah, those are Florida ubiquitous, right? Publix and alligators.
Lots of those.
Yeah, no shit. Well, we should probably wrap this up. We've been going at
Alright.
this about an hour, but a little more casual this time. So,
Yeah, I enjoyed myself.
Just
I
be able to shoot the
appreciate
shit.
the invite.
yeah, no, I mean, I think we'll do this again.
Sure.
It'd be nice if we could find a neutral area out there that during the daytime, you know, at a bar, so we could be over to the side. Yeah, but I need electricity for this.
Yeah, she'd let you. Ma wouldn't. She wouldn't care.
Let's we did it out
Go
of
right inside.
did it out there before.
She'd like to. Yeah, she'd do that.
Yeah, inside's too damn dark. It'd have to be outside. We have
Oh,
to be out in the airport.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know why they call it the airport, right?
No.
That's where everybody goes to get high.
Oh yeah. Oh, out by the trees.
You know where it's at. That's where I met you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking of the Tip Top used to be like that, right in the back porch.
The Tip Top. Now, where's the Tip Top?
Tip Top sadly is closed. Had been there since the 40s.
Where was that at?
It was right before you went downtown on Manatee Avenue, like a block before, and downtown snobs had tried to get rid of it for decades. The owner, Jesse Mullen, who's since passed away, I dedicated the second book to him. He's a good man. I really miss him. But he used to just rabble rouse the city a lot. He still had the Confederate flag out front. He had a sign out front saying, "We don't serve women here. You have to bring your own." You got a call from the mayor one time begging him to please take it down. Please take it down. And his business partner was a lawyer who worked at the public defender's office. So they started pressuring him. So eventually they didn't renew his lease. Whoever owned the building just said, "We're not going to renew your lease." So, but he had already started the ride hard then, but Tip Top was just gold. And I love that. It was the most authentic biker bar you ever want to be at. You know, shoot off guns in the back room.
Nice.
You know, just stupid shit we used to do. It's like,
Imagine what the ride hard would be if they could serve hard liquor.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, I know. Jesse always he never wanted to get involved with a liquor license and all that, and because that used to be a restaurant, the Ride Hard.
It was a barbecue.
Yeah, and when he bought it, I said, "You
Yeah.
open a restaurant?" He says to me, "A restaurant? Silverware? Being nice to people? No way." I always try to work that into the book somewhere. I thought that was one of my favorite lines. Like, how do you come up with that? Silverware and being nice to people in one sentence
Fucking Florida.
as a response to opening a restaurant.
Fucking Florida. That's all I could say. You know,
Oh God.
what are you gonna do? Yeah, what I mean is, you know, Peggy's obviously is a big destination biker bar down here.
Yeah, I love Peggy.
Woody's River Ruse, as we talked about. Gators.
Yeah, yeah,
Gators.
right there on 14. Yeah.
Yeah, Gators. That's right. It's actually right up the street from my favorite pizza place. I think the best pizza in Bradenton, San Remo.
San Remo's, yeah.
San
Oh,
Remo,
it's excellent.
the best
It's
pizza.
in a terrible neighborhood. It just gets a bad rap because it's excellent.
Oh yeah, it's a tiny
Oh, the
little
sauce
piece of
is
shit
great.
dining room.
Yeah.
But
Oh, it's great.
that's the only that's where we go for
Yeah,
pizzas
it's
over
great.
there.
I love San Remo's.
Yeah, they're pretty cool people too. And
Yeah.
he's a good kind of restaurant owner. He closes down one day a week, and then they all get the same day off, so it's the same staff. You get to know
that's
them when you
nice.
go in.
Yeah, I like it. I like going there. Just it's hard to recommend it to people because
I don't want more people over there.
yeah, really. But it's also it's a crappy neighborhood. It really is.
I
You reckon
know.
the tourists, hey, go Dutch.
Oh, I know, right? You'll get panhandled, a couple of times.
Well,
That hot dog place across the street, man. It's just, I mean, homeless down here is a whole different thing than up north,
yeah, they are.
and it's ugly.
Yeah, it is.
It's an ugly side, and you want to find homeless people in Florida? Go behind any strip mall.
Well, yeah, they're there.
They're there.
Absolutely, they are. Or under a bridge, literally under a bridge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, fairly sure. They are all around, but it's been several times I've been at intersections and waiting. I'll like hit the beginning of the cycle of the light,
Mhm.
and some guy's panhandling. You can see that he really needs it. He's not.
Yeah, no, I know. I used to give out little bags. I had a like a breakfast bar in it and some socks and things like that. Just something about giving them cash because I know where it's going.
Well, you hit upon the big one. There's socks and underwear.
Yeah, are the biggest. I had one time where and most of them were receptive. Come on, I don't want this fucking thing. Give me some money. I ain't getting money because I know where it's going. It's going right in your arm or up your nose or something. Well, probably not up their nose. That's too expensive, but right in their arm. And one time I gave a bag and a new pair of socks to a guy at an intersection. Next day I was going back through the same intersection. There he was with the socks on.
Nice.
So it's perfect.
So that works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I want to give him and be benevolent, but I don't want to be taken advantage of either.
No, I don't. Me either.
And a lot of the homeless people are there by choice, honestly.
Oh, they are. I used to work in a homeless program before. When I had a real job, I had to go show up for work, and it was a homeless program up in Tampa, and most of them are really hard to rehouse because they don't want to give up. They still live like homeless people in a home.
Yeah, they want that freedom.
They do. They don't want any responsibility. Just pay my rent and leave me the hell alone. If I want to sit in my living room and get drunk all day, that's what I want to do.
Well,
like this is a temporary program. We're not going to pay your rent forever.
There's no alcoholism in Florida.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Nope.
That's why I moved here because I wanted to get away from this.
There's not one alcoholic here. Not a single one.
Not a single one. No. Collectively,
Millions? Collectively, they're
yes.
everywhere. Jeez. There's a big party atmosphere down here, man. But I love it here, man. I really do.
I do too. I'd never go back to New York. I always say the only way I'm going to go back to New York is in handcuffs. Other than that,
anything you want to talk about?
I'm never going back.
So there's a warrant apparently out there for Dutch in
never get me to go back
in handcuffs. That'll be the title of this show.
Yeah, there we go.
Only way I'll go back is in cuffs. Perfect. I just love it when they title themselves like that. That's cool. Well, we'll do this again, man. Like Absolutely. I said, I mean, we we always have good conversations about shit.
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for stopping by. Appreciate and Dirty's mom, how you doing? Thank you. Shout out to ML. A shout out to Frank Sabatero. Shout out to you, Frank. How you doing, man? Frank, whenever he responds to anything on Biker's Lifestyle, it's always in caps. So I always respond back in caps to him.
Hi, Frank.
There you perfect. Frank's gonna dig that too, man. God, there's just so many out there. Brian the biker, he's got his own deal, but he's in on there sometimes. Yeah, the chat, they got a live chat that goes on during when the show airs, which will be tomorrow.
Okay, good.
And yeah, there's some stalwarts that get on there. Grizzly, Mike Rainey, how you doing, Mike? See you in end of July, brother. I know you'll be up there for the strip poker run. God, who else out there? And then there's another Grizz from Hell's on Wheels. They're another podcaster, YouTuber. Yeah, pretty cool.
Good.
We ran into them in Daytona, but they've been on the show. God,
Hopefully none of my ex-girlfriends who I have a restraining order against are watching.
there are so many people that I interact with that I'm not mentioning right now, and well, I'm old, and I had some devil's lettuce earlier, so it managed to squash my brain a little. But that's far be it from me to never have that happen again. But thank you, thanks for tuning in. Dirty's going to be back soon. Trust me. He will be back on. He just can't talk right now. So you're stuck with me doing this bullshit that you seem to gravitate towards. So keep in mind, everybody, the most dangerous part in your motorcycle is the fucking nut that connects the seat to the handlebars. Peace.
True that.